I didn't know how to talk about this topic because it honestly blew my mind. And it made my stomach churn in a way that I didn't think it would. Now, when you hear of like celebrities die, like old age and everything, like, I get this. I see a post where it's like their birth year and then their end year. And usually they'll explain the reason, like, it's a heart attack, it's ill, cancer, then it's suicide. And when all that happens, shit's scary and sad. And you just wish him well at that point. Rest in peace and everything. And then we just go on because we know that, that type of death is common. We're kind of, well, most of us who are adults are used to that. And, we say, rest in peace. This person meant a lot. Wish him the best. And then we move on. This one, though, was a little interesting. Like, the guy would show up in my feed pretty much often. I don't follow him. I don't subscribe to his Patreon or anything. I don't know what the fuck Turning Point is supposed to be. I didn't really care about that organization, really. But just the man himself, by the name of Charlie Kirk, would show up in my feed and would just be sitting at a table debating. And at some point, like, some people will show, like, the little context and say, oh, this guy is this guy is that. And then I would watch, like, the 5-minute context about it, and I'd be like, oh, that's what he means. Okay. I can kind of get by it. All right. I may not agree with a lot of it, but, with the full context, I get a understanding what he really means, but, a lot of people tend to twist it up a bit. And weirdly enough, those same people twisting it end up happy to have witnessed a man get shot in the middle of a gathering where all he had was a tent, a table, a couple of guards, because, at times when he did go to colleges, people like to throw water at him, do this, and would definitely call him names, call him a fascist, a Nazi, and say, you're trying to take away our rights, blah, 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 even though he's not really a politician. He's just a reporter that just wants to talk to people. He gave people a mic, he sat down, and he debated about anything. And he's had civil conversations with everyone of all races, and all genders, and all sexes. Even though he had disagreements with them, he had conversations with them. And I thought, interesting. People say one thing, but he does the opposite. And so it's like, what's so interesting? But then when a man gets shot, and a lot of people from one side decides to pop the champagne. Now, when Trump nearly got assassinated a couple of times, I was a little bit like, oh shit. But it didn't churn but my stomach never really churned. And when a lot of people started making complaints that the guy missed the shot or wondering if the bullet is okay, I'm just like, what? I don't know if you guys are joking. I don't know if you guys are just trolling. I don't know what you're doing. But it was quite a bit of people. And here's the funny thing, I didn't vote for the guy. I didn't see him as a leader. Like, as a matter of fact, for the past, like, 3 elections, I didn't vote for anyone. Maybe third party in the second one, but I didn't vote for anyone because I didn't see any leadership in all of them. I just see a bunch of old people complaining constantly. And it feels more like a roast battle than a actual discussion. You get what I mean? And now we're at this point where someone does get shot. And it's someone a lot of people just don't like. Just don't like, as in don't agree with. At least that's what we thought it was, just don't agree with. But in the full context, they just didn't like him. He's a white nationalist. He's this, he's that. Okay. Where's the evidence? And in response, they say, fuck you. And it's like, what the fuck? I thought we were trying to make a discussion here. Like, I don't know why you would justify this man's death. Like, I've looked into a lot of things. He didn't do anything out of ordinary. He wasn't a pedophile. He didn't rape anyone. He certainly didn't burn any buildings down. He certainly didn't shoot anybody. He just sat there and talked. He wasn't a politician. He was a reporter. He was a reporter for politics. And he was a guy who liked to talk about things. But he wasn't a guy who would want people or force people into something they don't like. He didn't force anyone. He tried to get his topic in as best as he can, but most of the time people like to talk over him because they like to listen to themselves. And I'm pretty sure he did the same thing a couple of times. You know, it happens. It happens to everybody. Not everyone's perfect. But to then hear about him getting shot and everyone popping the champagne, like if he died of anything else, like if he died of like sickness, maybe like an accident that happened, or some other ordeal, then I don't think it would have affected me. I mean, I'd be probably reacting the same way I react to the other celebrities, where it's like, God rest your soul. I'm not even religious, but I do it out of example. And move on. But why did my stomach churn after that assassination? Why did it churn? Why does it kind of churn now? Why? Like, I don't subscribe to him. I'm not, like, big into his politics or anything like that. I don't really give a fuck about politics. I just want a game. I just want to play my video games. But yet when I go to some social media sites, some of my gamer friends are like trying to justify murder. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they don't really show any evidence. They just said he just says this and this and this. And here's the thing. If a man's got an opinion, he's not a politician. He's just a guy with an opinion. He's not trying to enact people or pay people to create laws. He's a reporter. He's reporting things. He's throwing out his opinion and his takes. Like the day before the incident, there was a woman who was stabbed on the train and nobody helped her. And everyone's talking about, you know, that man's mental health. Like, oh my God, is he okay? What about her? She just got fucking stabbed. And supposedly she was basically on your guys' side. I don't know what happened. Like, it's like they're eating each other. And like, I hear all this, and I see everything online, and I'm just confused. I'm like, so wait, murder's okay? And then some people are like, well, you know, I don't condone murder, but then they just go on to explain to me how this guy's an asshole, and I'm like, with no proof, by the way, no evidence, just 30-second clips taken in from taken from possibly like the full 5 minutes of that conversation, taken out of context or twisted. I checked everything, and my God, I don't think people really do research anymore. I don't think they do. They just hear things, assume that their rights are being taken away, and I'm sitting here going, you have a job. What rights are you talking about? What rights are you talking about? You have a job, you live at home, or you have a home, you have family, you go grocery shopping, you have a hobby that you can go and travel to, you can travel, you can do whatever you want. If you want to be a custom created character, go right ahead. The world's not stopping you. I mean, there are probably some gatekeepers, but that's just boomers who care very traditionally. And I totally understand the disagreements between the two. Like on one side it's tradition, the other side is change, or like differences. AKA like, we should maybe try to help society a bit. At least that's what it's supposed to be. And at one point, one side thinks they're helping society by murdering somebody, and then just popping the champagne like it's a good thing. Like they're worried about themselves dying, but they're not but they're apparently happy someone else is dead, and they compare him to Hitler, but he's not even close. Not even a mile. Like, probably like halfway around the world. Not even close. And I see all this and I'm just disgusted. Like, here's the thing. Yes, I don't subscribe to this guy. And, like, I can tell that this guy, like, yes, he's very heavy on his faith. I'm not a faith guy. I used to be. My parents are faith people. But, like, I've been on that side and I've seen what happened. Because I used to grow up in private school, and I used to be treated like dog shit back then. And then years later, I just kind of forgave it. Just try to look for some positive things just within that situation and, hope for the better. And then years later, I joined the other side for a bit, and I started noticing something was off. Where now it's not about, like, just that difference. It's the differences within the difference. And it becomes a contest. And I'm just like, what's the point? I thought we're all in this together. And apparently they just eat their own. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm sticking to the middle. I'm just a simple thinker. I just think about things and I move on. I don't care about the fucking politics. I just don't care. I just stop. I mean, some things will pop up and I'll probably like watch it for a bit and then I'll just go on and do my other thing. Because sometimes, sticking with current events is not exactly a horrible idea. And to see people, like, preach love and compassion, don't show it to anybody else, but to their own. And I'm sitting here going, that's just cultic as fuck. Like, this shit is cultic as fuck. Like, I started noticing all that all together, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't take sociology, I think I would have been stuck and been radical on one side or the other. But I didn't, because I just kind of looked at everybody there, and I'm just thinking, okay, why are most people like this? I mean, not everyone's like that. Because I like to separate the individual from the group most of the time. There are good people from certain groups, and then there are groups that make the individual look bad. And that's what a lot of people just like to do. And when there's like a bad batch, they lure all the good one. They always think of the good ones as a part of the batch. But sometimes they could just be mediators of their own groups. And to see a lot of people just radical on whichever side, doing awful things on one side to the other. Because this isn't a contest, okay? I'm not about the whatabouts, alright? It happens on both sides. It's okay. Well, no, it's not okay. But in the past, it happened from one side pretty often. I mean, do you guys remember the slogan, "Hang in there, Obama"? Oh my god, I remember those. That was weird. And most of those guys are probably dead by now, which is, a good thing. But the problem is, that attitude from back then on that side is being mirrored to the other side today. Like, I always go by this quote. Most people learn from their enemies. And I don't even know who made that quote, but I've heard it before. And it's true. A lot of people tend to learn from their enemies and they tend to copy them. And it's not just plans, it's attitude as well. And like I feel like a lot of people are going to be like really upset with me because I'm talking to you guys like this. Like, I'm open for conversation, but like, here's the thing, okay? He wasn't oppressing anybody. Nobody was being oppressed. He was just a reporter sitting down, trying to bring everyone together and find a common ground. He was basically Steve Crowder when he did the Change My Mind series, but he did a better job. Because he also asked questions. He also was curious. Now he can't learn anymore because you wouldn't let him. Someone gatekept him from living. And to see the psychotic response to all this from people who like would try to bounce it around for what about this and what about that, and I'm just like, what do you mean, what about this, what about that? One, I don't even know this person. And two, we're so desensitized with school shootings that most of the times the schools don't even know how to fix that shit. Like, it's literally just adolescents getting picked on or just been given a bad first impression from both his family and school. That he ends up thinking, gotta take matters in my own hand now. And it's always been that story, every time. Even some people who are on one side or another, because honestly, school shootings have happened on both sides, and it's no contest. It happens, period. But this assassination was different. Like, it was someone you see on your feed pretty often, and you listen to him and you're like, huh, okay, I guess I kind of understand where he's getting at. Okay, maybe he has some things that, I disagree with. And it's like, whatever, moving on. In parts, he's got good takes, and in one parts, he kind of unmasks a lot of people on one side, and unmasks a lot of people on the other side, too. Even though he's pretty much very one side, or is mostly from one side, the Republican side, I guess we'll call it that, the conservatives. And he tries to, like, make a conversation with college students. Which I think is, it's noble in its way. But to think that people I would see from online just not only like shit on the fact that they're happy he's dead, but would talk about other people. Like, this political violent act got me kind of fucking scared. Because now, if you have a certain opinion, regardless if it's harmful or not, but they'll make it harmful by gaslighting you and guilting you anyway, you could be next. I could be next. And I'm not even a very political guy. Like, here's the weird part. Do you know what this entire situation reminds me of? Do you know what this reminds me of? Have you guys ever played... I didn't beat this game. I haven't played through all of it, but just the intro really, like, gives me kind of a lot of chills because, weirdly enough, that game, despite being kind of like a low review, probably the lowest of the Fire Emblem Fates games, it aged too fucking good. It's called Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. I played a few levels of that, and I'm not gonna lie. When I played that, I was actually pretty surprised about that this would be an outcome. And weirdly enough, they were on point. So far, at least. Because at the end, they end up facing a boss that was kind of also on heavily on one side. But, like, honestly, I don't know what you can compare it to. Because I haven't fully beaten it yet. But oh my god. You can be just independent thinking. You can just be a guy that just wants nothing to do with picking a side or anything. And just wants to do what they love doing. And those people would just group them in to this, like, because here's the thing. People try to tell me voting is a right, as in I have to. A right is not a have to. A right is a choice. You can use your rights if you want. And then people just shit on you for not taking the right seriously. And people just urge you about this. And like they don't think about the whys. They keep thinking about the whats. The what's and the how did you. They don't think about the why did they. Because they think the whole world is dying and you have the only key, but in reality it really doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, votes matter, but like votes only matter when you give them an actual reason to. Gaslighting, guilt tripping, and all of that don't do shit. Which is why I didn't vote for all three, and I'm not gonna lie, the gaslighting from like the one side, just outright kind of adds up a lot to what they built up to, and what they are, or what everyone sees now, and it's no surprise everyone's leaving them. Like, how do you justify someone who gets fucking shot in front of their family? And he wasn't the one who pulled any trigger on anybody. He just talked. And people didn't agree. He tried bringing the world together, but somebody said no. I want to protect my group. But you didn't really protect them. You just created possibly a pretty big divide. That now, if you have an itch of an opinion, and you don't like, possibly banned, possibly disowned, everyone's gonna call you a Nazi, everyone's gonna tell you don't watch this guy. But like, I'm not even a political person. I'm just a guy who just plays video games and just loves video games. And the fact that there's like a lack of respect and a lack of people like looking in a little bit more and learning about this guy is kind of insane. Because now they're all just going by 30-second out of context clips. And sure, even the ones with context I didn't agree with. You know, I'm pro-choice. You can do whatever you want. It's totally fine. Technically, I'm more like pro-life and pro-choice, technically. Like, I care about life, but it's not my decision. It's your decision. Well, if it's my kid, then we'll play again rock, paper, scissors. We'll settle it. But I'm not married. And I probably won't have kids. Which is fine. I don't know, I'm just going off. I'm kind of going off, but like, trying to find someone to talk to about this just fucking sucks. Like, when all that happened, like, I started worried a bit. Because, like, I really wanted to talk about this. But I didn't want to do it on stream because I was worried people would probably, like, think I'm crazy. I mean, there's probably, like, a couple people that would probably be by my side, and I'd be grateful. But, oh my god. There's just too many people in the gaming world that that will be happy that will be happy that you're dead over small shit. Smash scene, the Pokemon scene, everything gaming related, like, they don't understand how far this is going. They don't understand that, like, they think they know. And they think the right thing happened. But they don't understand is that this man was no war criminal. He was no danger. He wasn't even dangerous. He just had opinions you just didn't like. And therefore, because you didn't like his opinions, you shot him. And you're celebrating. And now, I think a lot of tournaments are about to get heated. Not from me, but I think from a lot of other people. Like, I go and I play, and I try to be the most welcoming person I can be, to the best of my ability. And I do my best to make sure everyone is doing good, is having fun at least. And I always tell people, you know, if you go X and 3, keep playing. Get the game in you as much as you can. Meet players. Maybe learn a few things. Heck, people keep playing because they want to learn a little bit more. Maybe get inspired by some people's wacky team builds. You never know. But I mean, you know, sometimes if you have to drop, then so be it. But like, that's just the thing now. It's no longer about if you like this game or not, or if you play this game very competitively. It's now like, you play this game, but do you think like us? If not, then you're not one of us. And that's what scares me. Like, I feel like I could possibly get pushed out by the one community that I've been a part of for 15 years, all because I don't give a shit about politics. I just want to play my games. I just want to have a good time. I'm not about cults. I'm not about the chance. I'm not about any of that. I'm about the game. The game. Yes, we're a diverse group of people. It's not just diverse in this. It's also diverse in this. Okay? So I want people to be good to each other. I want people to, like, not think about what they think. Just play the damn game. Okay? Competitive gaming is always about psychology. You're worried about the opponent in front of you? Just play better. That's it. Play better. Fist bump. GG's. Good game, well played. Whatever the case. And heck, if they have opinions you don't like, just say GG's. Okay? Don't show any hate. Don't show any of it. You may agree with someone's lifestyle, but you know what? That's not your style. That's not your lifestyle. That's theirs. And that can go both ways. Okay? You can tell me how disappointed you are. You can tell me that you wish I could have picked a better path. But I've already been brainwashed twice. And I can't fall for shit anymore. That's why I have issues approaching people. That's why I have social anxiety most of the time. Because I don't trust people. And I want you guys to really think about how impactful this just got. And if you're still thinking psychotically that murder is the way to go, then I might as well be dead by somebody else. If I can't bring people together, if I can bring people together, that would be something I would love to do. But at the moment, doing my best. So please, guys, be good to each other. I may not know this guy very well, but rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. We may not have full agreements, but I get what you're trying to do. Some people I know don't see that. Understandable. And it's okay. They can have their opinions. I may not like their opinions, but you know what? Doesn't affect my respect for most of them. I hope people can understand my stance. And maybe we'll talk. Maybe we won't. I couldn't find anyone to talk to about this. And most of the people that I would love to talk to about this, unfortunately, condone murder. I don't know how to end this, so take care.